to the Brooklyn William Mackey Jr. History Club. We meet here every other Wednesday in honor of William Mackey Jr., Brother Hassan, Amos Wilson, El-Haj Malik El-Shabazz, Louis Gray Rivera, Gil Noble, the late great attorney Alton Maddox, Minister Khalid Abdul Muhammad, and all the individuals who gave up fame and fortune to burn the midnight oil. We never want to forget Sister Leola Maddox, who drove an old car all the way from Teaneck, New Jersey. And she believed in the United African Movement. She believed in bringing people together for the camaraderie of talking and bringing the lecture. And she used to have her dinner at the UAM. So we never want to forget Sister Leola. We never want to forget Sister Leola Maddox for going beyond the call of duty. So we meet here, Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, Ivan Van Sertima, Professor George Simmons, Louis Ray Rivera, Runoko Rashidi, Roberta Flack, all the individuals Angie Stone. These are people that paved the way in the music industry. So we want to give them a big ups, especially the historians, because they could have took the gold. They could have took the money. It was once said by Dr. Clark that Malcolm X, El-Haj Malik El-Shabazz, turned down at that time $500,000. He turned all that money down. That's what they tried to use to buy him off, according to John Henry Clark, and he said no. And he could have took that money, but he didn't. So we're gonna bring the camera over to the Amos collection. We're gonna zoom into the books. And these are the books that Sababu from African World Info Systems that he uses to continue the great work of Amos Wilson. We have Amos's classic, Blueprint for Black Power. We have another classic by Amos, Black on Black Violence, the Psychodynamics of Black Self-Annihilation in Service of White Domination. We have Sababu's latest in honor of Amos, The Psychology of Self-Hatred and Self-Defeat toward a Reclamation of the African Mind, Awakening the Natural Genius of Black Children, Issues of Manhood in Black and White. We have The Falsification of African Consciousness, African-Centered Consciousness versus the New World Order, Louis Ray Rivera's classic, Jazz in Jail, and S.K. Damiana, Distorted Truths, the Bastardization of African Cosmology. We have these books. And I always want to never let you forget the role that Louis Ray Rivera did for the Mackey's group. Professor Mackey left us too soon, and Louis Ray Rivera came in and he filled the mantle, and he would talk for hours. And he would do the lecture, and we would walk him home when he lived a couple of blocks away. And me and God bless his dead, Brother Hassan, Brother Colvin, and it was just a small amount of us, but we stayed dedicated for Professor Mackey and lectures. And Louis Ray came down here, and we would we would walk him home and he would talk for another hour and a half. Brilliant man. Bedford-Stuyvesant's greatest. Boys and Girls High School. So we never want to forget Louis Ray. So for the people that came out in the rainy weather, give yourself a great big hand that supported the Mackey's group. And I'm gonna introduce some books for the listening audience. Black History Month is 365 days a year, even though this month starts Women's History Month. Black History Month has to be continued for 365 days a year, where you tell your story, you buy your books, and you learn as much as you can, because other people like to know more of what's going on than you do. So you have to be able to know something. In honor of Dr. Ben, his classic, Black Man of the Nile and His Family, and when you get into this book, it wasn't too many computers, but Dr. Ben did the work of what's going on in ancient Kemet, how they build the pyramids and the statues, and Dr. Ben just went beyond the call of duty. Life in Africa and the Nile. So we never want to forget Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, Professor George Simmons. In honor of Randy Short, Slavery Mastery, this book is by Dr. Randy Short. We have another book in honor of Louis Ray Rivera and Brother Truss Graham from the African Echoes organization, Jews, God, and History. And basically, Max Dumont gets into a lot of historical facts that was created and basically never happened. They don't exist. We want to thank Max Dumont, and I also want to never forget Truss and Louis Ray for mentioning this book. Also, when Brother Truss Graham was here, Nzinga of Angola, and you want to talk about a bad sister, Queen Nzinga, and definitely in the book, The Destruction of Black Civilization, I left that in the car, where they didn't want to negotiate with her, and the warriors that she had with her made a bench for her to sit down. So this is an excellent book. In honor of our great sister, Cynthia McKinney, her 1-2 punch. When China sneezes, the coronavirus lockdown, the economic lockdown, and global political, and also how the U.S. created S-hole countries. So when Donald Trump made that statement about shithole countries, S-hole countries, you better read this book and see how the United States was the one behind a lot of this stuff. We want to honor Cynthia McKinney, and they did not do her right. The same people that's running around talking all this nonsense from Georgia was the same people that did Cynthia McKinney in. And if people will got behind Cynthia McKinney, I believe she was the only person that cared about the people of the state of Georgia. If the United States would have got behind Cynthia McKinney when she ran for president, Kamala Emhoff could not hold Cynthia McKinney's bags. Cynthia McKinney was a powerful sister, and nobody supported her. But we support her here at the William Mackey Jr. History Club. Cynthia McKinney. Wayne Mansfield, The Manufacturing of a President. And the title speaks for itself, the CIA insertion of Barack Hussein Obama into the White House. So the only thing you want to know, Wayne Mansfield talks about it in this publication, and it's readily available. All you got to do is get the book and read it. Okay. I keep telling folks, everybody smoking weed, acting crazy. doing stuff they ain't got no business doing. Medical marijuana, and everybody selling it. People be waiting for the weed shop to open instead of the liquor store. Well, you could thank the man behind the curtain, George Soros. And you want to thank Lyndon LaRouche for writing this book. And he gets into it. And this is the book that made Henry Kissinger have a big problem. It's a big read, and if you get it, you'll find out a lot about it. They also say when you want to talk about a person, get information on them, you get the books. So this is Keisha. You get that book? This is George Soros, one of the greatest investors of all time. We also have how Hillary Clinton, the shadow party, how George Soros, Hillary Clinton, and 60 radicals took control of the Democratic Party. Excellent read, and they're still doing their dastardly deeds as we speak. And the man behind the curtain, the secret network of George Soros. George Soros is up in age, but his son, Alex, is at the helm. So you get these books, you understand, you do the research. It's another book you got to get by Elon Musk. Everybody's talking about Elon Musk. I had it, I left it home. Everybody's talking about Elon Musk this, Elon Musk that, Elon Musk. And nobody has mentioned a book that they read on Elon Musk. You know why? Because they go by the Cartoon Network, also known as CNN, and you go by MSNBC, whose ratings in the Cartoon Network, ratings are so low because the Dawn is back in. And it shows why the people that's losing their positions at these networks and radio stations. So when you want to know about somebody, you get the books and stop running your mouth about what you hear on media. Get your books. In honor of the irritated genie, Io Kamati, we have the one blockbuster from War Near Horizon, Jews Are the Problem, and then you got his second part too, Jews Are the Problem 2, The Psychology of the Jew. And in these books, he's not talking about the regular people. He's talking about the higher-ups, the people that you basically don't even know about. Not these regular guys running around in the street doing neat stuff. Thank you, Io Kamati, War Near Horizon, for these two publications. I don't understand why everybody could get reparations and they don't want to get into this book without sanctuary. The evidence is there on what happened to us at the hands of the Europeans, not the transatlantic slave trade, the European slave trade and the corporations that was involved, in the other countries that was involved on the European slave trade that brought enslaved Africans to the shores. And we didn't come as immigrants. And we didn't come as migrants. So get that nonsense out of here. It's a group of people in America who paved the way and cannot speak anything about immigrants. Because they did not come as immigrants. And these are the people that America doesn't want to deal with. So Without Sanctuary shows you what we had to go to. Also with the book Medical Apartheid. So the books is there, the papers is there, the postcards is there on what happened, the hangings, what happened on the slave plantations, the barbecues. And you don't need no study. Without Sanctuary, and they send you the pictures. So the next time somebody talk that nonsense, we need another study, you tell them to get out of here. And when you look at the new phenomenon of the reparations movement, not from the grassroots perspective, because you have a lot of grassroots people who's been banging the drums on reparations for a long time. But if you go into this book, it'll tell you who's responsible for this new wave of reparations talk, the man behind the curtain. So I salute the grassroots organizations. Okay, in honor of Dr. Scott Whitaker out of Decatur, Georgia, his book, Medicine, excellent publication on the causes and solutions in disease to the malnutrition that is killing us. Dr. Scott Whitaker, and this book is readily available. You can get it here, you can get it online, you can get it in a bunch of places. Dr. Scott Whitaker, beyond the call of duty. Thank you, Dr. Scott Whitaker. And he comes on Darren Muhammad's program. Capitalism on a Ventilator. And this book talks about all the money being made with the ventilators. Excellent publication. Hello, my dear. Robert Kennedy. This is from Children's Health Defense. The Wuhan Cover-Up. All of these books is by Robert Kennedy, and I want to thank Trump for bringing them in to try to clean up some of this stuff. And any time the Democratic Party kicked the Kennedy to the curb, when they kicked the Kennedy to the curb, and wouldn't even stand up for Kennedy yesterday. But Robert Kennedy and the Children's Health Defense has a lot of books. Third one, Vax Unvax, Let the Science Speak. Fourth one, The Real Anthony Fauci. And I'm glad they took his security away. Truth About CO-19. Senator Rand Paul and his blockbuster Deception, the great cover-up of the 19. And this is a senator. This is a big read. And during the confirmation hearings, he spoke his piece. So it's a lot of books. Causes Unknown. And every time you turn around, you're still seeing football players dropping dead. Children. Sports stars. Athletes, the pitchers, athletes, all of a sudden at the prime of their life leaving us. And the name of this book is The Epidemic of Sudden Death Syndrome, 2021, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. We want to thank Edward Down. This is an excellent publication, and I'm starting to read it. The Medical Pharmaceutical Killing Machine. And this is another Robert Kennedy's blockbuster books by the Children's Health Defense. So we got a lot of reading. And here go another blockbuster. And I want to thank Naomi Wolf, Amy Kelly, and everybody that was involved in the... You got plenty of time to write these books down. We could, don't worry about it. They went through the Freedom of Information Act and forced Pfizer to produce this information. So a lot of the stuff in here it's in there, and it shows you what's going on with. And we got another book coming out in April called The Moderna Papers. And Naomi Wolf, Robert Kennedy, and all the people made the pharmaceutical companies release the paperwork on their medications. And that's one of the things that might change with this new administration, where stuff is going to be tested and shown to the people that's taking it. And that's something that we need. Old grandma ain't gonna have old 50,000 bottles of medication in her cabinet and doing unnecessary surgeries. So now we have some current events, some programs that the listening audience could tune into. And one of them is Thorough Black Talk. It comes on tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Tad, Keisha, Ashe, Brother Blacksmith, Sister Mama, aka Sister Marcia. What's the new sister name, Sister Keisha?
Brooke.
Sister Brooke is also running with the gang, and they got the hottest show on the East Coast, 8 o'clock on Facebook Live. And do you come on Instagram?
Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So the Thorough Black Talk radio program is on the money. Also, our Philadelphia connection with Brother Lumumba, Sister Empress Chi, the Pollinator, Brother Moses, and those gladiators out of Philly. They come on every Saturday at 10 o'clock, and they even have a call in 1-319-527-6189. And you could get in, and sometimes we get it together and we be talking and arguing, but it's all right. Sister Filet and them be on the money, so I want to thank them. They always put up with me with whatever I'm saying and say it's all right. But they are very much good bunch of people out in Philly, and we salute them. Our powerhouse brother, Darren Muhammad, State of the City. He has a Saturday program on Instagram on the State of the City Baltimore, and also State of the City Baltimore come on YouTube every Saturday at 12 o'clock, and also he comes on Wednesday and sometimes Thursday. It's a give and take. So we want to salute Darren Powerhouse Muhammad on his radio program that comes on Saturdays. Thank you, Brother Darren. Every Tuesday, Your Immunity Project with Dr. Aline comes on at 3 o'clock, and it's rebroadcasted at 7 o'clock. That's Your Immunity Project, and Dr. Aline brings out his information on the 19 and other ailments and chemtrails. We want to thank Dr. Aline and California Radio, and also he does a program on Sankofa Revolutionary Radio. So we also have Io Kamati, the Irritated Genie. Also, now this is a blockbuster program. Sankofa Revolutionary Radio, WSYP 95.1. With Brother Anthony Mohammed there out of Birmingham, Alabama. And every Monday from 9 to 10, you have Brother Haru. And he has the science that goes behind the herbs and all the supplements and stuff he sells. So everything, he's excellent, brother. Dr. Haru, he just did a blockbuster program at Nichols Bookstore on a Thursday and a Friday. He comes on from 9 to 10, Sankofa Revolutionary Radio. And then you have from 10 to 11, Io Kamati, War on the Horizon. He comes on, and you can actually call in and ask these individuals. You can ask Dr. Haru any question you want, and he will be willing to help you. We want to thank Anthony Mohammed and Sankofa Revolutionary Radio. Now, our African Echoes family, Brother Trust Graham, Brother Danny, and all the Brother True, everybody coming out of Newark, New Jersey. That program comes on at 8 o'clock, and I don't have the book. They're doing the destruction of the psychology of self-hatred or the reclamation of the African mind. They do that on Fridays with other conversations. And then Trust is the mediator of that group. Not only they give you a blockbuster doubleheader on Saturday, the Know Thyself study group with Brother True and the gang out of Asbury Park. That comes on at 1:30. They have a 1-2 punch, and they do the destruction of black civilization with Chancellor Williams. Trust Graham is also the moderator of that study group. So that's a 1-2 punch on Saturday. You got plenty of time. The Simultac, I want to thank Dr. James McIntyre, the Simultac organization, the UNIA, and other organizations that myself, we came out, Peoples for Progress, I think D12, and a bunch of us came out yesterday for the protest rally at Madison Square Garden. A lot of people were not aware of the Netflix they redid the series of Good Times. And they basically, Netflix and Steph Curry, and there's probably some other roids that was in there in the mix. They redid the whole series, and it was very derogatory toward black people, and they did it right in front of our faces. And if you go on Netflix and you watch the way they redid the Good Times TV series, it is disgusting how they portray that. So I want to thank the organizations, and we was out there, and a lot of people was not aware of what this guy did, and he financed it. So how you going to ask for some respect when in Hollywood and the media is disrespecting us every day? How you think you're going to get some reparations when you can't stop them from degrading us every single day? So thank you, Semotap, and the organizations that was out there at least bringing stuff to the light. You can view all of William Mackey Jr. History Club lectures on YouTube under BK William Mackey Jr. Dr. Lewis, Dr. Munderson, and everybody that speaks, it will be transferred. So ladies and gentlemen, also, Brother Shabazz got a Magical Kemet lecture Sunday, March 23rd from 1 to 7. It's going to be at Long Island College University. We're going to have Baba Nkafanani, Brother James Smalls, and Mama Ella, and Brother Kabul. This is going to be an excellent Emfadishi. This is going to be an excellent program, and it's going to be real big time. Magical Kemet event, and we have the flyer right here. It's also, you can get it on YouTube. So ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you. These are just some community events. We're going to bring on our keynote speaker, who's a very good supporter and friend of the BK William Mackey Jr. History Club. We love her very much. She's definitely on the money, and we have one of the founders of Thorough Black Talk. Ladies and gentlemen, give a great big hand to our sister, Keisha.
Forgive me, I literally have been up for 40 hours. Traveling, there was a lot going on politically here in the state that I'm proud to say that Generation X is leading. And my sister Pat, sorry she couldn't be here this evening. She's not feeling that well. I see she is in the chat, so if you have questions for her as we go through, instead of calling me out, you can ask her in the chat, and I'm pretty sure she is well equipped to answer any questions that you may have. So a lot of things have happened or happening. One of the things I wanted to mention, which is something that Ray mentioned about a minute or so ago, but he was talking about Cynthia McKinney. He said that the people of Georgia really missed the boat with her. But we as a nation, as black people in this country, we missed the boat in 2008 when she was running for president. Everybody was so gung-ho on Barack Obama. And that is not by accident. You are programmed to attach yourselves to entities that may not be best for you. These organizations spend billions in digital advertising against you. So it's not, don't feel too bad that you've been wedded to these political parties or these persons for so long, even though they have not done anything for you, ever. So we went up to Rochester, New York, yesterday there was a reparations committee hearing. There were 3 of us, of all the speakers who were there, who were pretty much on code, letting the committee know that the legislation is flawed, that it is dead on arrival, and we are not accepting of the bill that has been drafted. This bill negates our enslavement prior to 1865. So that automatically tells you it's flawed, right? Another thing that I want you to know is that these committees have been formed predominantly by the Democratic Party, not just in New York, but in Boston, now in Detroit, in Chicago, and in California. The most successful has been California, as they have pushed their bill back to the legislature to redraft and do it over. So we are pushing New York legislators to do the same thing. They have a year to either amend or comply with drafting again. The problem that I noticed in most of these hearings is that people really don't understand legislation. You have a lot of people who come there rambling. You really get 3 minutes to give your testimony until the next hearing, or you can send pages via email. But when you're there live, you're given 3 minutes. And I noticed that most of the people, who were there speaking were inept to do so. Some people went on tangents. Some people wanted to include Asians, Latinos, and everybody else into it. Some groups were there, they want programs. And so we continuously, and shout out to the Freedmen's Project, but we continuously pull up to these committee hearings to get our testimony in the record so that they could pretty much speed up the amendment or kill the bill on the floor. One of the things that I mentioned yesterday was that we negate a lot of history. Like, for example, we all heard about the Underground Railroad, right? I hope so. Yeah. But no one ever talks about the reverse Underground Railroad, right? And so you all can Google on your phones while you're watching me or whatever. But the reverse Underground Railroad predominantly came out of states like New York, Boston, Philadelphia. The city of Philadelphia was the most active. This reverse Underground Railroad comprised of politicians, judges, court officials, and law enforcement. They formed kidnapping clubs. Beginning in 1808, in particular, it grew heavily in the 1820s. The majority of the people who were kidnapped were children, because it's easier to persuade a child to come with you somewhere or pick them up and run with them or whatever. Some of the sayings that we use today came out of those kidnapping clubs, like when, be home before the street light hit you, don't take nothing from Miss So-and-so, don't take nothing from nobody you know. When you read these books, you realize this is where these sayings come from. Because families were so fearful of losing their loved ones. And it happened, and not only did it happen for several years, but they made millions of dollars doing so. It was cheaper to kidnap and sell a free black person after 1808 because you didn't have to pay the cost of an import, right? Just like Donald Trump is raising tariffs, you're going to pay more on certain imports, right? So these kidnapping clubs flourished. And so that was one of the things that I mentioned in my testimony, letting them know that, you have to go back to the drawing board. Too much is left out. Some of you may have seen the movie 12 Years a Slave, right? Solomon Northam, right? He talks about he's a middle-class black man who was lured by opportunity of employment. He was a musician, so he was lured and eventually drugged and kidnapped. But like I said, 90% of those who were kidnapped were children. So one group that you can look at is called the Kidnapping Club, Wall Street, Slavery, and Resistance on the Eve of the Civil War. It is written by an English author and researcher, Jonathan Daniel Wells. There is another book that you can look at. It's called Stolen, and it's written by a Dr. Richard M. Bell. He is another English researcher and historian, but his book goes into great detail of 5 specific cases of 5 young boys. As you read the book, you see how these boys end up. Some of them don't make it. Some of them, I don't want to tell the book, but some of them were unalived. So it's a lot. And these stories are not often told. So I started researching this stuff as I was researching my own family's history, in particular here in New York. So it led me to these kidnapping clubs. And when I tell you that places like the New York Historical Society, the Brooklyn Historical Society, Pennsylvania's Historical Society has treasure troves of newspaper articles, because these kidnappers didn't keep memoirs, right? So you basically had to go by these newspaper articles or these advertisements that the parents or the community put out looking for their children or loved ones. So I wanted them to reintroduce that part of history into the bill. I also let them know that what we exactly want. And that was one of the things that you have to do when you come to these hearings. You can go on a tangent all you want, but they want to know exactly what reparations should be for you. So for me and our crew up there, we were clear on substantial cash payments along with total income tax exemption, right? So some people were up there looking for programs. Some people wanted book clubs as reparations. I mean, this was the foolishness that was going on up there. You had one Puerto Rican guy who came up there, and he came with a whole blueprint of how he could rebuild downtown Rochester so it could be beneficial to everybody. And this has been a problem in our fight for reparations and how we move politically. And I want to be clear. It is okay that we have our own tribe. We are our own tribe. Those of us whose lineage comes from this soil, right? Your parents, grandparents, great-great-parents, whatever. Through enslavement came through this soil. And so we have our own tribe. Just like in the Congo, there were over 250 tribes, right? And that's how they identify. But it seems to be a problem now when we do it. That's because we have a culture that is exported around the world and makes trillions of dollars. We are the moral compass of this country. It has none without us, period. So we begin, our generation and older millennials, we begin to put in stipulations to gatekeep our culture. And so it is causing a problem for a lot of people who have been allowed to feed off of us like a caucus. And no matter the group that we come from, because those of us who are up there, we come from different organizations, different group, businesses, whatever, but we are all on one accord. We are all on one accord on what reparations should be, what it should look like, and who should be included in that. And that is those of us whose lineage is tied to the soil of this country, these Americas. I also know that when the success comes out of the work that we are doing, and we will be successful, And I also made an open threat to the Democratic Party last night, letting them know that what you saw with Kamala Harris's campaign is just the tip of the iceberg. We are coming for all of you. Some of the people, they met us outside or whatever to have more conversations. At that point, I'm exhausted. I want to get on the road to come back to New York. So I took information from a lot of people up there, and of course we continue to network. But, you know, as Brother Ray also mentioned earlier, the insult that these political representatives bestow on us, I also let them know, and so did the Sister Brooke, let them know that we are not standing for it, and we see you for what you are. That you have plagued and played generations before us, but it's a new day. Because now we can match fire with fire. Brother Ray, gotta go back to Ray. He also mentioned George Soros, right? And all of the money that George Soros funnels through both political parties. It's a lot. If you don't believe me, you can visit a website called opensecrets.org and put his name in it, and it will tell you every organization, every lobbying group, and every candidate that he has donated to. So one of the places that he has donated to, I believe $60 million in the last election cycle, so that's 2024, is priorities.org. Now what this organization does is a digital marketing organization that the Democrats use to permeate information to you. Well, what they realized this year is that they have a problem, because voices like Thorough Black Talk, Darren Muhammad, the Black Authority, Professor Black Truth, Tariq Nasheed, Sister Brooks, Sabby Sabs, Afro Elite, we are killing the game, and they can't stop the onslaught. So when they were trying to save face with presidential candidate Kamala Harris, they couldn't. We were beating them up too much. They couldn't. And because we understand the political climate, we were able to have allies, if you will, to bring that candidacy to its knees. So the allies may not be who you think they should be, but for that particular task, we needed those allies. And now the job is done. The good thing that comes out of that is that we can go back to that well again. So I let the people know, and when you see Sister Pat, she listened online, she can confirm what I'm saying, that we see you clearly. We see you clearly, and we're coming for each and every one of you. So where Sister Brooke and I were sitting, we were in the back until we were called to come up to speak. We happened to be sitting right across from two representatives of Kathy Hochul's office. Now, they were pretty much trying to eavesdrop on what Brooke and I were discussing. And they couldn't hear, so it got the best of them. They had to come over and ask. And so we told them, you know, we are going to destroy your boss. And we're going to destroy you, so you should look for employment, right? So we let them know exactly what our feelings were. One of the things that I want our people to please, even if you are in disagreement with this new political movement and how things are going, do not interfere. Do not interfere, do not disrupt, because we will destroy you. It is a digital world. You can be doxxed at any point. Anybody know what doxxed means? I can pull Ray's entire life history because of his digital footprint. And I can post it for the world. Who knows what will happen to Ray? This is what a lot of young gamers are doing, right? A lot of these young black kids are making a hell of a lot of money in gaming. That's why I stream the program on Twitch. That's a gaming website. Gaming and DJs are on Twitch. So they are making a hell of a lot of money, these young black kids. And it's a problem for these white folks and these Asian folks. So what they have begun doing, these other ethnic groups, were doxing these children. So for an example, let's say Dr. Lewis and I are playing, I don't know, whatever game, and Doc is losing. It's a lot of money on the line. And I'm not talking $20, $100, I'm talking about $100,000 games. So Doc is losing. He in his feelings about it. So while he's still playing the game, he's hitting somebody else and they giving him Doc's information. Now they calling the feds and said Doc got weapons in his house. So now the feds is running down on people. This is what's happening. But because a lot of our elders aren't politically or technologically astute, you are missing the ball on a lot of things. And it's becoming problematic. I cannot stress to you enough how important it is to be technologically savvy. This is a new game. This war is different now. It's switch. Nobody fights war the same way over and over with the same enemy. You learn the enemy, you see the enemy's weaknesses, and you adapt or adjust. We keep fighting the same way since 1870, and we still losing. That to me, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to anyone, so please forgive me if I am, is insanity. That means you crazy. Your mama was crazy, your grandmama was crazy. For generations, people have been voting, in particular the Democrat Party, to no avail. To no avail. So what I did notice that yesterday in conversations with people outside is that older and elder folks are really starting to see because of what happened with the illegal migrant crisis. So then they became a trigger for them to wake up. Yeah, a lot of things are wrong here. And in fact, one of the speakers, Sister Pat waving her hand, one of the speakers actually said that. He wasn't for no damn reparations. He's a black man. I don't care about no damn reparations. I didn't want nothing to do with that. I didn't want everybody to get along. That's what he said. He said, until the migrants came. And he said, I realized they got our money. I want my money. But how many hearings did he attend prior to that where he said he didn't care about reparations? That's not on the record. We got to clean up your mess now. And that's the problem. So what I want to try to do, as I mentioned to Ray Ray, at least try to come in maybe once a month or every other month to give you all tutorials on technology and how it operates and how quickly it's moving. It is not slowing down. It is not slowing down. And when I saw, or when I see, just going about everyday life, how our people are struggling with technology, it's sad. It's really sad and it's embarrassing. I was in an airport coming back to New York. And a sister was older sister, she was trying to order some food at the kiosk. She couldn't figure it out. It's 30 people on the line. They about to punch you in your head if you don't move quickly. This is crazy. So I went up to her, I said, Miss, wrong, get off, get off. Touch, 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 tap, that's it. She said, that's all I had to do? Yes. These, some of you call cell phones, right? These are not cell phones. Do not refer to this as a cell phone anymore. These are mini PCs that have a listening device so you can act as a telephone. Everything you want to do or everything you want to know, you can get it through this. Why aren't you using it? I see elders who call over their loved ones, your little niece, your little nephew, your grandchild, your child. Help grandma, do so-and-so. Help grandpa do so-and-so. Tell them they're not there anymore. What happens when they're no longer there? Even my husband, he was going to take our tax documents to our accountant, to do our taxes. So he said, Keisha, where's the paperwork? And I said, paperwork? I said, didn't you get Vivian's email? We have to upload it into the portal on the website. He said, oh yeah, we gotta do that. But the thing is, most people wouldn't know what the hell I'm talking about. And this is a problem. We are so many light years ahead. And it feels like we are being dragged because we have to pull you guys with us. We can't leave you behind. We have to pull you with us. So I'm begging you to please become more technical. Listen, I was on the phone with Nellie Belly of, y'all know who Nellie Belly is, right? She needed help setting up a GoFundMe. That is the simplest thing you could set up. But she had no clue. Now she's suffering with eyesight, she really ain't got no clue. But I'm just saying, what if I wasn't available? What if I wasn't available? You know? Actually, she was trying to reach me through Randy Sharp, but I was out of town. And Mike Graves was able to get hold of me before he left out of town to give her a call. So now I have to stop what I'm doing. You see what I'm saying? This is problematic. And I beg our elders, please. It's not difficult at all. I create whole AI videos.
I think.
Yes, ma'am.
The seniors, I think it's just a lack of distrust. I don't think they're comfortable with using, these things.
What is it that's what I want to know. I want to know what they're afraid of.
Yeah.
Because the fear should be that you don't know it and you're being left behind.
Right. So I say that to say, so there's a lady, elderly lady in the building.
Yes.
And she's not afraid,
Mm-hmm.
but she had so many things
Mm-hmm.
that these other entities tried to get in and was trying to scam her.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I saw her, and she's telling me, I was like, don't you dare get that man no money. So I had to tell her daughter. But she's not afraid, but I think for a lot of the older people who's just not used to it, even though they offer classes like that to the Department of Aging, come up, I think it's just a lack of distrust. I'm gonna be honest, sometimes I don't even trust it.
Right.
I'm like, I'm not doing that,
right.
but I'm not scared.
Right.
So I think for the seniors, I get what you're saying,
Right.
it's so much easier. But I think for them, I just think it's just a lack of, they don't trust it, they're old, they wasn't raised like that. So who thought 20, 30, 40 years before that would come to this point and how we're living, So yeah, but that thing is, I use this a lot. I use my laptop a lot. But I think about that lady who wasn't afraid, and then some guy tries to scam her.
Mm-hmm. I get what you're saying, and I truly, truly understand that. But the thing is, the more you get familiar with it, the more confident you are, the more you can tell when you're receiving fraudulent messages.
Yeah.
I think also sometimes with older people who ask younger people for assistance, and I've helped other people, but what happens is they'll say they ask their grandkid or whatever to help them do something, and the grandkid takes the phone and does it.
1, 2, 3.
The problem is
They didn't teach them.
They didn't teach them. And the patience to teach someone who doesn't know something
It's difficult.
Yes. Yes.
I agree with everything you just said, because even I get frustrated.
Yeah.
It's like I'm at a doctorate and I have to go back to kindergarten. So it can be frustrating, but like I mentioned to Empress Filet, and she and I are coordinating to try to have some classes done online so that we can show people, as you said, instead of taking it and doing it for them, just show them so that they can become more familiar with it. You said 20, 30 years ago, you didn't think about it, but that's the problem. They've been telling you technology is running.
Right.
When the first cell phone came out, you should have known.
Right.
But I get what you're saying, and a lot of people suffer.
Thought about that 40, 50 years. Who knew that we was going to be, and technology was definitely taking over, to be sure, but who knew, some things I don't even know. I had to send some information to somebody the other day, and I just could not remember how to do it. So here I go with my cell phone. Going downstairs, one of them young kids down there gonna tell me how to send this damn picture, because I just could not remember. And sure enough, they were like, oh yeah, that's easy, just do this right here. And I'm looking at them like, well, what did you do? Who's about to do it again?
Right,
And
show me.
Show me, they just did it, yeah. So I think for seniors, I think that's where the lack of,
And you're right, and that's why, Dr. Filet and I, we've been discussing things to have these classes because via Zoom, whatever, because it's a must. It is a must. I see people in the bank, in the supermarket struggling, and just Saturday, I'm in the supermarket and I'm behind this elderly sister and she's busy looking for her credit card.
Yeah.
So I said, you can put that on your phone and just tap it and go. She said, yeah, I heard about that. I see it, but I said, yeah. She said, but I also heard that if you stand too close to somebody, if they don't tap, it could go through. I said, well, is your money in the bank? She said, yeah, your funds are protected. If it don't look right, where this money missing from, call your bank and say, and they'll refund your money in a couple of days.
Yeah.
So, I'm saying this to say that because as we move politically, this is a must. A lot of you could have viewed these hearings online, and I had people who I sent the link to, how you get on? I'm in the middle trying to argue our point, and you want me to stop to tell you how to get on. That's a problem. That's a problem. So we have to do better. Now, and I will definitely let everybody know when them classes start, and when I come back here, we definitely going to start with some things because I want you to see that when CNN, Fox, ABC, NBC, what's the other one, CBS, or whatever I don't know, I call them or whatever. Anyway, by the time they get the news, it's too late. I see them report stories all the time that we talked about online 3 weeks ago. And you late, we moving on. So then by the time you guys hear it, you're like, wait, I just heard so-and-so. Yeah, that was like a month ago. Like, I know they just got it, but it was a month ago. So, as we move together as a unit politically, we're going to have to become more technologically savvy. 2, we have to respect each other in this fight. And what I mean by that, we have black people who come from all throughout the diaspora who live here in the United States and do very, very well. However, a lot of them are trying to grandfather close themselves onto the legacy that we have here. No ma'am, and no sir. You have to fight the French, the Belgian, and the British for that. Now, according to Marcus Messiah Garvey, in this book, Selected Writings and Speeches of Marcus Messiah Garvey, he said that we are the blueprint for success against white supremacy. Everybody else is a failure. That's what he said. I believe that as we go forward to continue this fight and to delineate ourselves from the Democratic Party, which is another thing we're doing, to get people unwedded from the Democratic Party and re-register as independent non-party affiliates. Because the goal is not just to advocate and sit in all these hearings on reparations, but to run candidates in these 5 cities in critical seats so that we don't have to ask for it, we are going to take it. So, and we need y'all to catch up. Looking at recent voting demographics, ages 18 to 29 who voted Democrat, 28% of us, I'm talking about black folks, that is, sorry. Ages 30 to 44, 40%. Ages 45 to 64, 73%. And the largest demographic, 65 plus, 87% of black people vote Democrat. That is a problem. That is a problem. And when I ask people, why are they wedded to this party, they give me a whole bunch of benign neglect rhetoric. No substantiability, none whatsoever. You can't point to me one thing that they've done for you. But you went out there every year, or every 4 years or 2 years, depending on Senate and Congress, you vote for these people. Why? Why? When we're trying to bring this party to its knees so that we can have success, not for us, but for those coming up behind us, the Gen Zers, the alphas that's coming behind us. We are tired of starting from nothing. So, like I said, different groups from around the country, we've been conversing with each other to push the Free the Black Vote movement. There is going to be some illustrations, some animated series that are going out that I'm working on to get it done. That's another thing with technology, and that's one of the things I tried to stress to Ultimatics. When we were at UAM, he would always complain that mainstream media would never let him on, and I used to tell Brother Alton, that is dead. It's dead in the water. We are wasting time. And it was very difficult to get our elders in that organization to see that. And that's problematic. We can't move the same way anymore.
We gave Mackie a computer, he didn't want it.
That's insane. That's insane. I create whole videos. I wish I could have brought the Apple TV so you guys can see. But if you watch our show, all of that intro music, the videos, I did all AI generated by myself. Right? I even wrote Ray Ray a theme song for the BK William Mackey History Club. And I gave it to him. Now he can upload on Soundboard, SoundCloud, iTunes, whatever, and start making money from it if he wishes to. When I wrote those songs, people were like, who's singing the lyrics? I wrote the lyrics, but I told the AI component what I wanted. The style of music, how I wanted it to sound, even the pitch. And I played around with it for a while until I got them just right. And believe it or not, it took me less than 20 minutes. 20 minutes. So if I'm trying to do something, well, we need to do that. What are you talking about here? I see people who send out information for the community. Ray Ray held up one earlier in Word document. Who the hell still uses that? You don't know about Canva? You don't know about. I'm like, yo, this is crazy to me. So family, we have to do better because this freight train is moving. Even our brothers and sisters around the globe. You see what's happening. Dr. Lewis comes in here every other month, tell y'all about the Sahara Alliance. He always teaches y'all that. We are moving light speed. So like our brothers and sisters on the continent, we are moving here too. And we want everybody to win. We want everybody to win. So before I move on, any questions?
So, this is just me.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
I'm not as up to date as you are as far as, what's the name? But the AI thing, and I'm not against it, but I just be looking at some of them videos that they put out, AI, and I'm like, come on, this is crap, this is not happening. So, a little bit that's sometimes my issue. Like, in my mind, I'm like, because I know what they putting out. This is me, that shit is not happening. Well, why put that crap as if they're doing something to the polar bears up in Alaska? They got all of these bugs on them and then boat pulls up and the people get out.
That's weird because that's where it's going. It's just content creation.
AI, but I was like, how much of it is really, fact? That be me. I'm a fact person.
Yes.
So I don't know. Like you just told me you created a song, whatever it is, and I'm like, I don't even do that. But if you did it and it's beautiful, that's good. That's my only issue with AI. Let's just be looking at some of this stuff and I'm like,
Right. Well, some of those extravagant videos, right.
I'm using it, you know, for the right thing. I'm just a fact person, so, you know, I'm not gonna fall for anything. That's just my only issue, you know, with AI. So I'm sure what you did for him, create the thing.
Right.
Because it's Ray Ray, and it's about what he does, which is a fact.
Right.
That's the point I'm trying to make here, you know,
Right.
so. Some of it I just.
Right, you see some of the transformation videos with faces transposed.
Yeah.
Right, so that's just content creators making interesting videos
Right.
because that's how they make money.
Right. That's
Right.
right.
We all know what's real and what's fake,
Yeah.
right? And it's very easy to check also. Like even people who get catfish, you hear about that, right? Them lovers that come out of nowhere, they want you, they love with you out of nowhere, found you online. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the thing is, all of this can be verified.
Right. So
I can put a picture in my phone. I can take a picture right now of Ray Ray and put it in my phone and do a reverse Google search on him to let me know if he's legit or not.
Right.
But like you said, a lot of people don't know.
They don't know. So I check. I don't speak on nothing unless I know what the hell I'm talking about. And I was like, I'm just re-looking at some of this stuff. I'm like, come on. But you're right, the content creators, I didn't even think about it like that. The content creators, how they have the one, I don't know if anybody's seen it, the ladies come out, they're beautiful, they got these beautiful gowns on.
And they transpose.
And then they transpose it to some kind of damn animal. I'm like, get the hell out of here with that. You know?
Right.
And then they make it seem like they're on some reality show, and I was like, who believes this stuff right here? But you're right, I just check my facts, you know, before I believe anything.
Right, and you should.
I
check everything.
But I can't
check everything
unless I know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? So,
you gotta check everything.
Yeah.
You know, to be clear, you know, a lot of things are happening and a lot of misinformation. But those of us who know content creation and we know this type of thing, we can tell right off the rip what is and what isn't. And so that's where I hope to get all of you so that you can know what is and what isn't. I saw on, I think it was News 12, Brooklyn, they were talking about this text message that was going out to everybody and a lot of people was getting scammed from UPS or whatever. If you know you didn't order nothing, would you click on the link for that?
right.
You should automatically hit delete. You ain't order nothing. So I'm just saying, you know, common sense, as Trump said the other day. Common sense. You didn't order nothing. Ooh, I'm gonna click this.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I get those too, and I'm like,
Yeah, you ain't order nothing, delete.
you think I'm gonna click on that link? You out of your mind. I don't do it, you know, so. But some people, like, that's how the older lady, I was telling you about my building, I think that's how she got caught out there with a scam. She's saying all this stuff, and then she clicks on something, and next thing, I'm saying she's talking to somebody in Nigeria who's trying to I ran into her, and she's telling me, and I'm like, Freddie, you better not send that man a penny. I said, I'm telling you right now, I'm getting ready to call your daughter and tell her. I got it in trouble. I'm going to thank you. Freddie was mad at me. But you get ready to send him the $5,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So he can get, you know that scam that they got going on. So he can go,
419. It's called 419.
whatever it is. But I just happened to run into her and she told me, she was like, let me tell her, and I was like, Freddie, don't you dare send that man a penny, and if you do, I'm telling Tanya, she's scared to death of her daughter, not in a bad way.
Right.
Her daughter, you know, like, Mom, what you doing? But that's because she's not afraid to click on those links, those things that come in. So you gotta really be careful, you know. I know I don't click on nothing, especially if they tell me fat ass or whatever.
Right. And you can't help people from really stealing your identity because, you know, you take a couple of cybersecurity courses and they are available for free through Google. You can take them for free and become certified. But it's easy to hack if you know what you're doing. So all of us have a digital footprint, whether you use a computer or cell phone or not. Because whether you go to a doctor's office, a dentist's office, or pay your car note or whatever, they'll put your information in a digital process, so we all have a digital footprint. So some things you cannot avoid. I mean, there are hackers all over the place. So you just have to be smart about yourself. You know, if I ain't ordered nothing, and I'm not looking for no damn Nigerian lover, delete.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Delete. You know? So we gotta do that. So anyway, going back to yesterday with the reparations committee, as Ray Ray said, it is insulting, and I let them know that to have this committee in the first place, it is insulting on many levels. One, the Democratic Party were co-conspirators in our enslavement and in kidnapping clubs. They were co-conspirators. From the first Democratic president, George Jackson, to present day. They have been doing our people in. Just recently, about a week or so ago, they reported another judge who was getting kickbacks for throwing young people behind bars. So again, black bodies is still a commodity. And I find it very, very insulting. So, as Ray Ray said, you know, a lot of people had information, a lot of people had, you know, even their own family history, lineage that they presented. So again, we have the history and the context. The problem is, when we get up there, some people don't talk about the history and the context. They looking for book clubs. You see what I'm saying? But now we got to start from scratch. So what I can say is that the next hearing, I think it's in Syracuse, and then they will begin coming downstate. They had some in Albany, some in another town of, I think Buffalo. They had one in Queens, but now they're going to be coming back downstate, I think, after Syracuse. I have to check the schedule. And you could go to ny.gov/reparations. You can see who's on the committee. I also let them know that I have problems with people on the goddamn committee, like Ron Daniels.
Oh, yeah.
He's problematic.
Soros.
Now, they might not know history, but I do. I know his history.
Soros.
I don't want him on this panel or this committee. He's a conflict of interest. And then he started to say so. You let people talk and run their mouth, they will tell you everything you need to know. Like I said, the reparations project is for descendants of enslaved black folks in this country who were freedmen. Freedmen. You know, freedmen. Y'all look that up. Dr. Ron Daniels wants to be including everybody. Everybody. Even the same Latinos who despise us, he wants them included as well. So,
Why?
the last meeting, the meeting before this one, he almost got his behind whooped. Security had to rush in. He almost got his head busted. Them young boys was ready to tear him up. So this time, he didn't show up. He called in via Zoom. Most of the panel called in via Zoom because they almost got their behinds whooped because our generation is not playing with them. Previous generations let these charlatans permeate throughout the community. You let them permeate these fake ones. Sometimes Dr. Lewis get ravved up when Ray mentioned some of their names, but you know, we know the fake ones. But we've allowed this to happen for so long. And now that we're putting a stop to it, everybody got a problem. We get attacked from brothers and sisters from the continent, from the Caribbean, from South America, all because we are gatekeeping what is ours. Just like they gatekeep what is theirs. But because previous generations did not address the issue that there is a problem with Pan-Africanism. There is a problem. Who's been carrying the majority of the weight of such? So again, This scale is not balanced. So now you have people saying, no, we got to do this all over. We love our elders, we love our family, but they did some things wrong here. You know, people have to be vetted. If you're speaking for a particular group, if I don't know Dr. Arthur Lewis can't talk. You see what I'm saying? We can't let everybody, no, I'm serious. So we had to do these things. So even in these social media spaces, we get a lot of pushback. But now, a lot of brothers and sisters who have media platforms are saying, wait, y'all wrong. We got to stand with our family here on this one. We got to be good allies. Just like they were good allies to us. Comedian Godfrey, he's another one who goes off on a lot of Nigerians about their disdain for us. And he's getting pushback. So, you know, it's going to take some time, but we are standing firm on our square. We have identified our own tribe. You either respect it or we're going to destroy you. That's what Kamala Harris thought she could do. And that campaign with $1 billion went right down the tubes.
Her friends robbed her.
You think we playing with you. We are not. So, again, please get off the Democratic plantation. If you vote, that's fine. We want you to vote if you vote. I'm not telling you not to. I'm begging you to get off of these plantations. Re-register as a non-party independent, period. So that we can create our own PACs and super PACs. Now, does everybody know what a PAC or super PAC is? I hope so. If you don't know, just say you don't know. Because I don't want y'all out here willy-nilly, right? PACs are the people who raise money for the campaign. Super PACs specifically spend their money on advertising for candidates, right? One of the biggest super PACs, Ray mentioned, is George Soros. He has his tentacles in everything as far as digital media is concerned. They are grasping for straws, and now the next one on attack is Congresswoman Crockett.
Soros puppet.
She's being destroyed right now on social media, and it's just the tip of the iceberg because they think we're playing with them. Either you on code with us, or we're gonna run right over you. And we don't give a damn what happens to you.
So,
Joy Reid recently lost her job because of the pressure we've been putting on them. Tiffany Cross lost her job. Angela Rye, Dawn Lemon. We are taking out the sellouts one by one. So you can play this game with us if you want to, but you will be next. Because we have to do things differently. And those of us who came under, as Ray said, Amos Wilson, Louis Ray Rivera, Alton Maddox, Leola Maddox, the Professor William Mackey himself. Those of us who came under these teachings, we are their cubs. You know, Garvey said, catch me in a whirlwind. I'm in the whirlwind right now. So we playing different game right now. So as I come, as Ray, I'm gonna try to be here as often as I can, at least once a month, so I can keep you all abreast of what's happening and to teach you technology, because this is a technological and a cultural war. That's why we are gatekeeping our culture. Now you got all of these musicians, actresses, and everything trying to say we never created such musical genres as jazz, hip-hop, country, the blues. Are you crazy? So now they want to take possession of it. It's not happening. These entertainers like Busta Rhymes, Fat Joe can't have a concert nowhere. You see what happened to Drake, right? Can't have a show nowhere. We are not playing anymore. It's a new day. So I'm saying to all of our elders, please don't stop us from what we're doing. Please don't get in the way. Because I don't want what I see happening to other folks happen to you, and you won't be able to stop it. Once you get doxxed, you won't be able to stop it. It's a freight train. You know, ask Fat Joe, ask Drake. Drake can't come outside. You know what I mean? He can't come outside no more.
Fat
So-
Joe, that's right.
Can't come outside. No more. This is not your culture. We created it. We allowed you to be a guest in it. You know, so now even our brothers and sisters in Jamaica standing up for reggae music and dancehall, going against the Afrobeat artists. You cannot get and steal culture. You can't. You can't steal a lineage. You can't. So things are happening very rapidly. Like I said, you know, we going from place to place, and also putting our media content that we ain't playing. Sister Pat put it up there. PAC is a political action committee, right? So even in film, right? I am the associate producer and one of the historians on the first ever feature film now available on Amazon Prime on the trial of Marcus Messiah Garvey. It is a short film. It is doing extremely well.
Tell them the name of it.
The name of the film is called Messiah.
It's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon Prime. It is a 40-minute short film specifically dealing with the trial. Those entities that were involved in the trial. There were some flashback moments for Garvey in his childhood. But our goal, one of the reasons why we made it a short film is because we want to get a series out of this. I think it is minute of us to think we can get Garvey's life story in one film. So our goal is to have a flourishing series out of this. What I love about it is Black Americans wrote, starred, and produced this film. We funded it with our own money. It has been through 61 film festivals throughout the world, from South Africa to the Caribbean to Belgium. We were in the UK, Guyana, Baltimore. We're all over in film festivals. There were 61 screenings so far, and so the film is picking up steam. So again, having our tentacles everywhere. We're going to tell our own stories. And we're going to come up with our own money. A group of us got together and put our own money in the pot. You know, putting our money where our mouth is. Not lip service. So again, look for more to come out of this project. And again, with digital content, we are moving in different ways. We have our partners with Brother Tad and the street team, M&C Gutter, and the OG Wisdom. We are
Sunday
taking
at
over the
2 o'clock.
street. Yeah, they come on Sunday at 2 o'clock. We are really going to take over the streets in a way that, you know, y'all ain't going to see coming. And that's because y'all not up to date with technology with the rest of us. So like Ray Ray said, it was an event. A lot of people didn't know about it. I'll tell you why they didn't know about it. How did you advertise it? If you just did those flyers, I don't understand why. But if you're digital, you can send it to the world, right? Not everybody logs on at 8 o'clock to listen to our program, but we get a hell of a lot of playback, especially in our Instagram and Twitch pages, especially Twitch, because we have DJs who host us, right? So I may have maybe 10 followers on Twitch, but I know all the DJs, and they got millions of followers. So after they play they set, they hosting me, right? We have to reach the gamers, right? I don't go to clubs no more. I'm tired. I gotta lay down. Can't wait to leave here tonight so I go to bed. Been up 40 hours. But I have to be in these spaces so that we can permeate our message, right? So we're going to be calling on a lot of you for help as we move into the warmer months. I hope that you will be available to do that, because we need all hands on deck. This is not a one-man, one-woman team. And no one man or woman is above the crew. That is the philosophy that we're moving with. That is the philosophy. So, before I move on, any questions so far? Okay.
You got a
Now,
question?
No, it's just, no, it's, you know.
Anybody from the Zoom? Anybody from Zoom want to say something? Munderson?
Yeah, are you aware, the nation is in crisis over reading,
Mm-hmm.
okay? The Department of Education is complaining. Recently, the New York Post carried a front page article saying that the city is spending $36,293 on each student, and reading is low.
Right.
And on Dr. King's Day, we had a march down Fulton Street, and an assemblywoman that said that reading is down 66%. So I've created this 12-volume reading strategy. But I'm not going anywhere. I wrote several people and asked that if you only respond, I will send you a synopsis. But I got no mail. So, this is a wonderful piece of work. I used to write for one of the black newspapers in Brooklyn.
Daily Challenge.
The Daily Challenge, Alpha Times.
My favorite.
So I took about 90 of those articles and constructed this encyclopedia, wherein I had identified more than 24 reading features that a student needs to know to move forward. And I'm also trying to teach them how to write hieroglyphics. And there's photographs. I've only been able to begin from ancient Africa to 19th century Africa. I have stuff on United States, slavery, etc., but I haven't gotten to that. But I'm stuck because nobody's interested in that. Reading is going to hell in a basket, and
But see, hold on. I'm glad you mentioned that. Because he's right. That is the advertising. That reading is down, reading is low. Do you know Gen Zs? That means your 20-somethings, your late teens. They are heavy into handheld books now. This is the new craze.
Beautiful.
This is what I'm saying. By the time y'all get the information, it's too late.
Kindle.
They are taking over. No, handheld books, they were actually books.
Oh.
Google right now, Gen Z and actual reading books, and see what I'm talking about. That's what I was trying to say. By the time y'all get it, they order something else. They're doing this more than strolling and streaming online now. They want actual books. That's why I want Ray to do a digital thing for his books so he can stream it online and get these sold in a day. Get them sold in a day. These kids want it. You have Gen Zers who are reading Blueprint for Black Power and showing it on Instagram, creating digital videos with Dr. Amos Wilson talking in the back. This is what I'm saying. They tell you reading scores are down. Yeah, because the crap you give them in school, I don't want to read about Ray and John having sex. I don't. So those kids are not reading it. But bookstores are the new boom right now. Bookstores. But if you didn't know, you would believe what these folks is telling you. Because you ain't outside. You see what I'm saying? You would believe it. But this is the new craze, handheld books. You have a girl, I'm gonna send it to Ray maybe sometime tomorrow, but she has like
Keisha, how you doing?
300,000 followers, and she talks about handheld books and Black history. Little girl, it's changing. It's changing. Yes, sir.
Ray, can you hear me, brother?
Go ahead, Walt. We can hear you loud and clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, hey, greetings to the family out there. Glad to see everybody. Glad to see you, Sister Keisha.
Hey,
Love you
Walt.
much. Hey, you know what? Maybe we could work together on something. Maybe back in 2015, 17, I went to the Schomburg. The Marcus Garvey trial transcript is at the Schomburg on microfiche. And I went there and I scanned the whole thing. And I put it on a CD. And the lady who was in charge of, well, back then, I think she's still there. She's what do you call it? She's in charge of gathering information for Schomburg. She has a title of, her name is Liliana. I don't think it's procurement. It's some, I forgot how to say it, but yeah. My contribution is a permanent record now to the Schomburg. That is, they have it on microfiche. But what I did is I scanned all the microfiche, and I put it on a CD, and then I turned around and I gave it back to them. I said, hey, because it took me hours. I was there for like 3 days, just scanning. The trial transcript from the 20s, it's hard to read because it's in like a small font, and it's messy. And the guy from the University of California, it's the Marcus Garvey Papers Project. That's where we think the trial transcript came from. It's supposed to be with the New York State Court Archive because they, New York was given permission to throw out a lot of
Yeah,
cases.
that's actually where we went to get some documentation for this film. We actually went there,
Yeah, they don't have the complete transcript, and when I tried to contact them back in like 2017, they said, oh, we sent some of it out to get preserved. They sent it to DC. And they said that when it comes back, they didn't have it anyway. So the only person that had it was the regents of the University of California. But somehow the Schomburg has it, and I think the Duke University has it.
Okay.
So I have that CD though, if you wanted the trial transcript. I got the whole, or you can go to the Schomburg and get it.
No, we have the transcript. That's what we, good night, y'all. That's what we had, the pretext of the film. So,
Oh, you got the trial transcript and the complete transcript?
everything that you see in the film came from court documentation. And from some of his writings. You will see that.
I don't think the New York Archive has everything.
No, you have to go to the Historical Society. They have a wealth of information. That is the state's archive. So that would be the best place. You just have to book an appointment.
Well, I have the complete transcript. I got it from Annie Appeal.
No, I'm just saying, if you want to go to the Historical Society's reading rooms, you have to book an appointment. That place, the Morgan Museum and Library, you have to book an appointment for that. Believe it or not, they have a lot of information. J.P. in his personal collection. Yeah.
J.P. Morgan Chase?
Yes.
Oh, man, dude.
Yes. Let me tell you.
Let me make a comment, Sister Keisha,
Go ahead.
about the Marcus Garvey trial. You know that when he got convicted, right? The next year, they were willing to throw the case out because I think it was Harding was the president, and then it was Coolidge. Yeah, I think it was the next administration. They realized, you know what? They admitted that Marcus Garvey was railroaded in 1927. That's why they cut him loose, because he was supposed to do 5 years. He only did 2-something years. They cut him loose because they knew they were wrong way back then. And the people that infiltrated the UNIA, they also knew that Marcus Garvey wasn't guilty of what they charged him for. They knew it in 1927.
Right.
But they don't want to talk about it.
Right. This film was actually used to help get a pardon for him, but we let them know that's not acceptable. We want full exoneration. So this film is now a part of the archive for that. Brother Peace, I see you there.
Thanks a lot, Sister Keisha.
Yes, sir, Brother Wilson. You got a question or no? I just saw you. I didn't want to move on. Yes, Miss Pat.
Got it, Pat.
Got unmute.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, peace. Oh, I just plugged in not too long ago, but I love what I'm hearing, and I commend you for the work that you're doing. I'm going to check that flick out.
Oh yes, please do so. Please do so.
Yeah.
And definitely leave a comment, because that also helps us. We go back to the negotiating table with this platform for a series. It will help us in that as well as we get back to the drawing board.
You want to say something, Pat?
Right now.
Go ahead, Miss Pat. Go ahead.
Pat? Unmute yourself, Pat. Unmute yourself.
There you go.
I'm in a noisy area.
No, Pat.
No, Pat.
Pat. Pat, unmute yourself.
Can you do her from there? That didn't sound good. Could you unmute her from here? I think she's the third, fourth one. Maybe she's number 4.
Pat, unmute yourself.
Yeah, he can't do it. You gotta unmute Pat.
Pat, unmute yourself.
She's trying to get it. So while she does that, I just wanted to go over some of the things that we did mention so that you can have a foundation of where we were coming from as far as getting the history right in the record. We said as Black American descendants of slavery, we demand reparations in the form of substantial cash payments and full income tax exemption. Our ancestors who were stolen from their homes, trafficked and exploited under a system of brutal forced labor built the wealth of this state. Yet we and our families have continued to suffer under generations of racial injustice, economic suppression, and government neglect. New York's role in slavery was not incidental, it was foundational. Hence, reparations must be given to foundational Black Americans only. Before the Civil War, even after the abolition of the transatlantic slave trade in 1808, Black Americans were still kidnapped and sold into slavery through the reverse Underground Railroad. And I please beg y'all to read up on that. It will blow your mind. New York itself was home to a thriving network of kidnappers who preyed on free Black people, forcing them into bondage in the South. This was not the work of a few criminals, but a system upheld by corrupt officials, law enforcement, and even the courts, all of whom turned a blind eye to the suffering of Black families torn apart. The New York Kidnapping Club, composed of police officers and judges, who ensured that Black people would never feel safe in the so-called free North. Wall Street itself, now a symbol of American wealth, was built on the trade of Black bodies. Enslaved Blacks were the first commodities bought and sold at the very heart of the New York financial district. This was not just a Southern brutality. New York profited immensely from slavery, ensuring slave ships, financing plantations, and ensuring continued oppression of Black people long after slavery was legally abolished. The state government, its banks, and its businesses thrived on our suffering, and they owe us a long overdue debt. Even after slavery was officially ended, New York never made good on its promises to Black Americans. The New York Democratic Party has consistently failed us, offering empty promises and symbolic gestures while doing little to repair the damage. Instead of justice, we face redlining, segregation, police brutality, and economic exclusion. The crack epidemic of the 80s, fueled by systemic neglect and targeted policies, devastated Black communities while the government waged war on us instead of addressing the root causes. This was not an accident. It was a continuation of the same racist structures that have always sought to keep us oppressed. We are tired of waiting. We are tired of broken promises. New York history is one of active participation in Black suffering, and now it is time to pay what is owed. We demand substantial cash reparations, tax exemptions, and policies specifically for us that directly restore what was stolen from us, our wealth, stability, and dignity. The crimes against us did not end in 1865. They continue to this very day. Justice delayed is justice denied, and we will no longer be denied. So, thank you. And Brooke was even more phenomenal than me. I let the youngs go ahead. That's what we doing. Pushing our young brothers and sisters in the forefront. We ain't no ego tripping over here.
See if Pat can unmute yourself.
Oh, Pat, yeah, gotta unmute. Unmute Pat.
You want to say something, Pat? Unmute yourself.
She's trying to call somebody help, I think. So, and you know, Brooke pretty much went into the flaws that are in the legislation, and the brother Tremaine, who was ahead of her, also, well, we're all on the same accord. So, pretty much that's it as far as, you know, the reparations committee. And what we want you all to do politically is please re-register as non-party affiliate independents, because that will pull the numbers from the Democratic Party, and that will hinder them from receiving matching funds in various districts. And like places here in New York, we can run on that and take these offices. Because if I'm able to take Hakeem Jeffrey's seat, we get reparations tomorrow, not 100 days from now. Because if I'm on that Ways and Means Committee, we getting it tomorrow. And you see, one of the things that Democrats and Republicans, they never snitch on each other. So you don't know who's voting against your policy within that party or not. As an independent non-party, I'm telling on everybody. I'm going to tell on everybody. And that's problematic. So, again, a lot going on. You got it, Sister Pat? She's trying to get it. She said she can't get it. She can't get it. We're going to have Sister Pat in tech class, too. You can get the tech class, too. So, I say all that to say, family, is that it's very, very important that you stay abreast. Either you're following Thorough Black Talk. Any of y'all have social media? Yes, no, maybe? You do? You do?
Not really.
What do you mean, not really? What do you mean?
I have a page, but I seldom get there. Got so busy. I spent so much time in the library.
Me too. Me too. Me too. But you gotta stay abreast of what's going on, brother. You really do. You can follow Thorough Black Talk on any social media platform. We're on all of them. And you will be amazed at the content that we have produced up there. We are working with another content creator who creates wonderful regenerated videos of our great inventors, and putting the storyline to it and the music, it'll blow your mind. Another cartoonist or animated content creator has taken Francis West Welsing, Nilly Fuller, Amos Wilson, Malcolm, and everything, and turned them into cartoon series. So we are doing phenomenal things. And sometimes I hear, Brother Munderson, from some of our elders that we ain't doing nothing. That's because you don't know. And part of the reason we had to keep you from not knowing, because some of you are the gatekeepers. But now that these hearings are commencing and we're pushing with Free the Black Vote movement, we have to come out and talk to you now. We have to come out and talk to you. Because I don't want to leave none of y'all behind. I don't want y'all to be ignorant of anything that's happening, and I also want your input. We want your input. You know, I call my aunts and all of them. I need your input. So, again, if you have social media platforms, you can follow Thorough Black Talk. You will see an image of, let me show you our logo. You'll be able to see that in case y'all don't know. Let's see. Let's get out. So, this is pretty much our logo. We change it every week depending on the topic that we talk about. But the background always remains the same. We just change the foreground depending on what it is that we're talking about. So, this is pretty much our logo. We come from a Brooklyn perspective. All of us, except for one, are Brooklynites. So that's the background. But we always change the foreground. Sometimes they can be animated, right? So you'll get that on your feed, and you know, they pop. So, and also, I wanted to show you here was what I was talking about with the music and what we're doing. Call this up. Let me show you here. This is one of our animated flyers that we send out every 30 minutes before we go live. AI generated.
Keisha. Just repeat what you just said.
Yeah, so these are one of our animated ads that we put up every Thursday before we go live. Right? So, doing a lot. We just doing a lot. So, don't worry. We got y'all back. We in a fight for real. We just doing it and moving differently because we have to. We have to confront where they are. So, did you get it? Oh, she didn't. She left. I don't think so.
What?
I thought she was trying to fix it, but we're gonna leave it alone.
Okay.
We're gonna leave it alone. So, now, when it comes to legacy and lineage, like Brother Walter, he said he downloaded a lot of information on Garvey on disk. So when I ask people, even those in the UNIA, who are the people who recruited for the UNIA? Just give me one name. You can't. You can't. One of the biggest recruiters was a woman named Maud Minty. She alone brought in 300,000 members, right? By herself, but nobody's ever heard of this woman. So again, we are using content so that we can re-educate, so that everybody has an understanding. Because even now, you got content creators who say Garvey was a fraud, he was a thief, it's going crazy online. So we have to confront these things, right? In order way to do that, you have to hold people's attention. And Brother Munderson mentioned, some of our young folks' attention span is that quick. So we got to catch them in that quick of a time. So, any questions you want to know about AI animation and how all of that works and how we can use it politically?
I need to know how I can get my reading strategy out there. I'm trying to create intellectual autonomy where people will be able to decode anything that comes in front of them. Reading, writing, thinking, and things of this nature.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to transform young minds. I think that my 12-volume set will do just that.
Mm-hmm. There is a brother who comes out of the state of Washington. He has also a media platform. He just created a 24-volume ebook series complete with music and animation. Like, for example, when he teaches about Malcolm, for example, there are musicians who recorded music to play in the background. It is phenomenal. Right now, I believe he's offering the entire series for $20. You can go to dothenowledgeradio.com and it'll blow your mind. My 5-year-old grandson loves him. He's listening to hip hop, but he's learning about Khalid Abdul-Muhammad at the same time. You see? So we have to make it palatable to our people. You know what I mean? They're not going to come out to lectures. They just not.
It ain't happening.
Yeah, but we got to reach them when we can. We got to reach them. We can't leave them out. We got to reach them when we can. We're a family. You all got to go together or we ain't going. Right? You need the you. I do. So that's why with this reparations team and task force, a lot of the young people are ahead of me. I'm pushing them to the forefront. I'm giving you the wisdom, but I'm pushing you to the forefront. Because I got other stuff to do in the background. And it's working. It is working. These Twitter spaces, sometimes they go to like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Thousands of people talking online to figure out a strategy how to destroy this Democratic Party. So this thing is taking off. It really is. It really is.
You want to say
One more
something?
question. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, okay, so I was the chairman of the Bones Committee
Mm-hmm.
that repatriated Samuel Carson back to Ghana, West Africa. Samuel Carson, the son of was Sonny Carson, and I was chairman of the Bones Committee.
Mm-hmm.
Sonny gave me an assignment, that is to say, to get the names of people whose ancestors were enslaved in this country to sign in this book. Hopefully, one day they will be able to build a monument in Ghana, West Africa, besides where Samuel Carson and the enslaved Jamaican woman Crystal are buried at a place called Asin Manso. Right? So he signed the book in 98, August 1st, 1998, and I signed behind him. I put my mother's name and stuff like that. But I've not been able to reach out to people who will sign the book, sign the names. Whenever the book is full, I'm supposed to take it back to Ghana. I'm not a young guy, you know. There were some people who had promised to announce this assignment from their platform, which they never did. You know, so it's one of the assignments that is incomplete in terms of where I'm supposed to go with this, you know. So this opportunity to just at least mention it within your purview, people need to know that there is such an assignment that is incomplete. They have to sign the book. The first signature on the book was Sonny Carson, and I must be number 3 or so on that list, right? But I haven't pulled up the first page that's about it, you know. And there's some challenges in that assignment for me to go across the country or what have you. And I need support. One of the first things that
go across the country to retrieve information, you mean?
No, to sign the book.
Oh, to sign it.
Right, with the names of
But see, even like that, like you said, get people to sign the book, right? You have to go across the country, you say, right? Am I hearing that right?
Well, you have a wonderful reservoir of strategies. That
No, I'm asking. Is that what you said? So I can
that's not my area, okay?
No,
my
I'm asking
area
you, what
is
did you
spending
say?
time in the library. I try to write books.
Right.
So this whole digital thing is a good thing I came. You know, I'm learning new avenues that I can explore. You
Yeah.
know, so that's why I mentioned it to you.
Right. On the screen, or I can turn, I can go, keep going.
Yeah.
So, another thing I wanted to show you, and I hope you can see, hold on, let me just try to make this a little bit lighter. Give me 1 second, let me turn some light on this thing. Yeah. Okay, so, those of you who watch the show, you already know. This is just for people who don't watch our show. I just want you to see how I'm able to use AI-generated persons. None of these people in these videos are real. I concocted them in my own little brain over here, along with the soundtrack. So, you know, this is why I do on boring Sundays. All right, so hopefully you can see. So in the intro, I want it to look like Thorough Black Talk is reaching the world, right? Everybody, the world is spinning below Thorough Black Talk. We're above the world. You see the world spinning below the sign? Now I need black people who are ready, willing, and able. They hear the message. They're listening on their smartphones, right? They're walking down the street and thinking about what we were talking about on our program, right? People on the train. I want the people on the train tuning in to Thorough Black Talk, right? So I talk to AI and that's what I want. I need people in the offices discussing the politics that we discussed on our program. So I asked AI to give me that. A bunch of millennials looking on their cell phone talking about what we're talking about. I asked AI to generate that. Sister on the train going home, she just listening to Thorough Black Talk and she in her glory. brothers having lunch, laughing at what Brother Taz said on Thorough Black Talk. None of these people are real. I created them out of my own imagination. So the world is turning dark. It's a black world. People are coming across the Brooklyn Bridge right now in their cars and they're listening to Thorough Black Talk. So again, I asked AI to generate these things for me. She's confused. What did Sister Marseille say? Maybe I'll believe what Brother Black says. She's looking at her phone. Let me look again and see what he said. Right? So again, we have the ability to create our own stories now. This is one of the threats that Hollywood is facing right now.
That's why they stay on strike so long.
An AI-generated series on Amazon Prime right now that is doing phenomenal. Phenomenal. So again, I just wanted y'all to see what we can do with it.
That's why they stayed on strike so long, because of the AI.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And you can do so many things with
AI
it.
was taking the job.
Like you say, you going across there to get documents, you got things into you. You can scan it and sell it with your own barcode. It costs you less than $5.
You heard that, Monday?
I'll speak to you later.
Costs you $5 to do it.
No,
No?
no, so when you finish.
No, I'm saying, these things you can generate and do for yourself. You know, these platforms that we're on is just a blueprint for us creating our own app, which we're in the process of doing now. So there will be content that will be loaded on our app that you can't get on YouTube because, you know, YouTube and Facebook have certain restrictions. But if we have our own app, we can really control our digital media. So right now, I'm working with an AI project to code for myself the app the way that I want it, without paying anybody a dime. And all of this information is free. It's free. I'm learning these things on my own. You know, how to issue PSAs. I created a PSA that we're using now. But I'm going to create another one for this Freedmen's project. But yeah, create your own PSA. Ray can create a PSA talking about all these people on the wall over here, right? And you send me a clip. All I need is 30 seconds you telling me something about Amos Wilson. I need 30 seconds you telling me something about Dr. Clark. I need 30 seconds of you telling me something about Professor Mackey. I need 30 seconds of you telling me something about Dr. Bennett. I need 30 seconds of you telling me something about Francis Crick. I can generate a whole series over that. A series over that. So, you know, just get ready for the way this freight train is moving, family. Just get ready.
What's the definition of PSA?
Public service announcement.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Not the prostate.
Don't bring your prostate here.
Bring that prostate down there, let you talking to the doctor.
That's
Let
what
you
I'm
talking to
talking
Dr.
about.
Lewis.
You gotta go over there for that.
Over there with the
I know what I can do and what I can't do. But again, and he sees some of the stuff that we create. Now, another thing I wanted y'all to hear is the song that I created for BK William Mackey History Club that Ray has to learn how to incorporate into the beginning of his videos and end. And I'm not going to show him.
Yeah.
He will take part in the class like everybody else, so he can learn how to do it. But let me see.
Question.
Yes.
What you said? Do the Knowledge Radio?
Yeah. DOTHA knowledge. Yeah, the sister, she waiting, she's saying yes, so she know what I'm talking about.
DoTheKnowledgeRadio.com?
Yes, and look for the ebook series. And you will see my flyer on the page banner. There is a code there with many names, myself, Dr. Mayat, a few other people. You use those codes and you will get a discount.
Okay, thanks.
Okay? You're very welcome. So, this is the song that I generate for BK William Mackey History Club. So I know he like jazz, right? So I had to keep it smooth and mellow, because I know him, you know? Right.
History echoes strong in lines so pure and brave. Ancestors' legacy we promise to preserve. For the race dream, unity takes the lead. Consciousness we see, in knowledge we believe. Bring me 103 Quincy Street. Raise the voices high of ancestors go by. In the truth we trust to guide us through the light.
So that's just the intro. But it's full song, chorus and all. So these things are not as difficult. I would love to show you guys how to do it. Maybe you piss your woman off. I can show you how to write a song for her. And do some whole video. You back in.
That's some flowers from Costco.
There you go. You back in. Like, you back in. Well, I'm telling you, I gotta get up. And that's one of the businesses that I offer. I also produce songs from some content creators that you all may see. That I've produced their music, like King Simon production. I produced his commercial. All from my computer. You know, I was talking to Nellie Belly, and she said she needed a new computer, but she didn't have the space. So, and she didn't want a laptop. So I said, ma'am, there are desktops that are smaller than your phone that will give you more terabytes and more gigs than you do on a regular desktop. And you pay like less than $200. My desktop at home, because I have a desktop, it's half the size of my phone. Nobody believes it. So I told her, I said, when you get a chance, Google mini PCs, and you will see. They work better than big ones. Even the gamers are using them now.
Even the new phones coming out got the AI generated.
Yes.
The old iPhone 16,
Google uses it.
Samsung. So you'll be able to do that even on
Yeah, even on your phone. I can, I just don't like to. But another thing, speaking about that, what you just mentioned, the AI
companion.
We also have to be very careful. And this is why it's very important that you know your history. Thorough Black Talk is the only Black organization, group, or media platform to challenge Microsoft Copilot's Black History information. And so I think I showed it on the show where I challenged their history that they spit back to me. I asked them who was the first Black woman to run for president and who was the first Black man to run for president in the United States. They spit out Shirley Chisholm.
No.
I spit it back. You are incorrect. And I can show y'all on my phone. You are incorrect. She wasn't the first Black woman to run for president. It was Charlene Mitchell, who did it in '68. I said, and then they had up here, Dick Gregory. No, he isn't.
Nope.
We're going to George Edwin Taylor. So they said, we've checked our databases and you are correct. So now, Thorough Black Talk Worldview is making history with Copilot.
Tell me what time it comes on, please.
8 to 10 p.m. every Thursday evening.
On where?
On YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So, and I can show y'all where the Copilot had to come back to us because we challenged their history. And a lot of information you can get is wrong because what they do is they funnel every bit of history and they narrow it down to what it is that you're asking. You can ask AI to do anything for you. If you want to write a book, you don't got to write a book. Tell AI what you want your book to be about. Feed it some information and it will spit a whole book back out to you. So you don't have to sit there typing all day long. Like I had to, when I do my descriptions for my show, I don't got time. I got 100 jobs. I'm sorry, but I do. So I know, like for example, I think last week's topic was why are Black Americans so special? And I asked AI, I put in some facts, you know, music, whatever. I put in some facts and I asked AI to set it up in a platform for me for my description because I could be long-winded. And it was able to spit it out in 4 sentences for me. So now, this is what I'm using because I got too many jobs. I'm sorry, but I got 100 jobs to sit here and write a description, you know. But everything is right and exact, and anything that is wrong, it's your responsibility to check the information that it spits back out to you. Because people will call you on your fakeness if you just go on what AI said. Like I had to do was challenge them on the history of who ran for president here first. And not only did I do that, or that we did that as a platform, ABC News we challenged. We challenged the Brooklyn Museum. We challenged the New York State Parks Department on a lot of information. ABC, CBS, and we did it during Black History Month because they like to spit out these things during back. No, excuse me, Shirley Chisholm was not the first black. And now, when you look, this year when they started posting Black History stuff, they now say she was the first black woman to run under the Democratic Party, which is correct.
Exactly.
Which is correct. But she ain't the first black woman to run for president. That's a damn lie. And one of the reasons why they don't mention Charlene Mitchell is because Charlene Mitchell was dead centered on reparations. And she worked with the Communist Party. So they gonna never mention her.
Not if you was a member of the Communist
Ever.
Party.
The woman lived in Harlem, all that. First Ohio and then Harlem later on in her life. But nobody ever talks about her. We don't went through the public school system or private school system here, and we allowed them to tell us this BS. You know? And you gotta now go into these schools when they had these Black History Month, I'll take her off the wall. She don't belong there. Take Shirley off, she was a feminist, and the reason why she was given the slot, and I'm gonna tell you the truth, and you can read it for yourself. The reason why she was given the go-ahead to run for president under the Democratic Party in '72 is because she was Dwight Eisenhower's #1 speechwriter. That was a gift horse to her.
That's right.
Nobody ever talks about that either. You know, all people know, you ask, she ran for president. What else did she do? What didn't she do? You know, she tried to grandfather clause people onto our suffering too, which is why she ended up getting the boot. So,
They co-opt you, then they co-drop.
period.
They can't do that with AI.
Period. You're a shield. So again, you know, I'm gonna get y'all abreast. Next month I'll be back. We're gonna start with social media platforms. We're gonna show you how to operate them. We're gonna show you how to use your banking apps. He needs to get stuff from across the world and I'm gonna show you how to get it in a lick of time and have it sent to you. I'm gonna show you how to create your own barcodes so you can sell your own books. You don't gotta put nothing online. That's a waste of time. People use the barcode. If you on Instagram, let me tap your code. Tap your code. Don't tell me what your Instagram is. If you don't know what I said, let me tap your code, then you behind the race. So you can do these things and make money for yourself, right? I can teach you how to create. If you're a lover of music, I can teach you how to create a whole album. How you upload it on iTunes and start making money for yourself, right? I'm doing jingles now. All these platforms, they want a jingle. They hear Thorough Black Talk. They want a jingle. All right, this is what I'm charging. This is what I'm charging. And I'm teaching my grandson, right? I'm teaching him how to do it. Cause I ain't gonna be here forever. This is a business he can flourish on. You know what I mean? Same thing with stock trading. I trade on my phone. Taught him how to trade. He started with $10. He watched every penny.
So you heard word out on the street, he got about 50 in his pocket right now.
He'd be like, Grandma, why my money going down? What's going on here? We need to sell this stock. Sell. You see what I'm saying? So, but you have to get them acquainted with it because you got to start from somewhere. You got to start from somewhere, and I don't want another generation in my family legacy to not understand financial literacy and how it works. And I always tell my daughter, I suffer so that you don't have to, right? So I can't wait to get back so we can get started because as these meetings continue, I want y'all on it. I want y'all on it. When I come back the third month, don't tell me you don't understand. We don't have a problem. You don't have a problem. So,
Ladies and gentlemen, Sister Keisha, great big head. Sound.
look how much he got. Look how much he got off of $10.
He's loaded.
Look how much he got started with $10.
He's loaded.
His account.
So, Sister Keisha and the Thorough Black Talk gang is gonna be, we're gonna hook up something for to do the classes and to let y'all know at the Mackey's group. Give Sister Keisha a great big hand. Give the people that came out in the weather. Walter got his hands up. We gonna show him how to. He gonna be happy when that AI money start rolling in. But when you might lose your drawers, but don't worry about it.
You're welcome, brother. Any questions?
I'm out. I had to make a run. I'm out. I had to go pick my son at the gym, so I'm sitting outside with my phone now.
Okay.
I'm still signed on at home.
Okay.
All right.
So, and don't do that again, Walter. This is not a phone. These are mini PCs. This is a computer that operates as a phone.
The new iPhone is
Listen,
$1,600.
I'll tell you something. Y'all don't have to believe me. This is the legal definition of what this is. That's what I'm telling you. This is the legal definition of what it is. I ain't just making it up. That's what they said it is. Check this out. Where is that? I have it in my notes.
The new iPhone is $1,600.
The first cell phone was $1,099. In '83, it was a Nokia.
Yeah, I
It was
remember.
a Nokia. You remember the Nokias?
Nokia, yeah.
Yeah, that was the first one. Cost $1,099. You know, people think, you know, the oil was going up. Nah, it started up high.
I'm getting the Trump phone.
And you get a Trump phone? I'm like, you go right ahead and do that. You don't track it.
Unlimited talk, unlimited text.
You can also put blockers on your phone. You do know that, right? Because I have a blocker on my phone. Not only a radiology, a blocker, but it blocks people from taking information from my phone.
Okay.
These things are very inexpensive.
Okay,
I
so
think
I'm
you
gonna
can get them
cut
for
this off,
like cap
Keisha.
for like $10. Put it on the back of your
All right, that's a wrap.
Yep, that's a wrap.